So we would drop acid in school too. So it was acid and ketamine, right?
Acid's my favorite.
Buddy, they don't make it like that. I mean, I haven't tried it these days, but back then we were fucking.
Now it probably
I
has
didn't know how I made
fentanyl in it. Imagine coming out of a fucking Narcan blast, tripping your balls off, fucking detoxing all at the same time.
As soon as they're coming in, all I was thinking was, I don't want them to do any of this shit. So I do like a fucking ruler size rail amount, right? And as soon as I come back up from that, I get jumped, dude. Poof. I get punched in the face, back onto the counter, right? And I stand up, and I can't put the fucking faces together, bro. Their faces are like Picasso in front of me, right? And I'm sitting there looking, and then the kid fucking swings at me again, right? So I grab him, we fall back into the fucking closet where the laundry was, right? Door falls off. I get back up. I'm looking for something to grab because there's 3 of them, you know? And I see one sitting at the table, and I'm fighting 2 of them. And end up in the fucking living room somehow, and I'm like swinging a fucking broom handle around, dude. Like I couldn't find anything. You know, I have felonies, I can't get a gun. You know, I had a bat maybe in my bedroom.
Wait, just for clarification, there was actually 3 of them?
I still don't know if we're hearing them. So they're making a situation like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar. I'm kicking my own ass. Throwing myself around, dude.
Fucking Fight Club.
Dude. I start talking to guys. Sorry. Right, so I look on on my navigation. It shows me where the charging stations were. I found one in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. It was only 28 miles away. I said, all right, I can make it there. By the time I get there, it's 3 a.m. And I plug in. I'm there for about a half hour in the car. A tow truck pulls up and drops the car off. The guy gets out of the tow truck. I can see him looking at the machine. I go, all right, I'm gonna help this guy out. I get out. He's from California. He's out here. He rented an electric car. You know, so I show him how to download the app, put money on it, charge the car. We ended up talking. I tell him, for some reason, I get honest with him. And he ends up being 18 months sober, trying to find God. Can't find God. Right? At this point, I'm like 4 months sober. Know of my God. No, I believe in my God. I believe my God is guiding me as long as I'm seeking that guidance and I'm clear enough to see that guidance. Listen, it's 3:30 in the morning in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Not a soul is awake besides me and this guy. And I'm trying to help this guy find God. Me being 4 months sober, he being 18 months sober. He's from California. So from that, it just told me that God has got my back. He said, bro, as long as you don't fuck around, I got you, bro. So I left there so peaceful that as long as I live the right way, that I'm going to be okay.
That's me, right? Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Trash Talk. This is going to be episode, whatever fuck episode we're on.
It's the next.
And we're going to cover a really dramatic topic, something that really impacts society, and I think has touched the mind of just about everyone in the fucking planet, you know, and it's drugs.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about why they're awesome, right?
and how they're great. Drugs, and how they're fantastic.
They are.
All right, episode 4.
Now we're
5, whatever.
Street drugs, right? We're talking about street drugs, right? Awesome.
Well, what, you know, I think we could go run the whole gamut. You know, I mean, I think there's prescribed drugs that are even more awesome.
Yeah. 30s are pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff you do to get more info on this and enjoy. All right, boys, let's take it away. So here we have, this is Brad. Brad is, well, let's just say that him and drugs they're old acquaintances. Yes.
A love-hate relationship.
Yeah. Right on. And obviously we have the other half of this duo, Bly. And he knows a little bit about those things too.
Yeah, I did him a couple 2-3 times, you know what I mean?
That's how we met.
Slide your chair in a little bit there, man.
Yeah, actually, Brad and I met a couple years ago. We left a little basement church gathering, went up to my house and had a little breakfast. And I think Brad was a little overwhelmed with the amount of people that were there and kind of scurried out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not comfortable in my own skin yet.
No, it's okay. I ended up buying a couple vehicles off of Brad a few years later. So
Yeah, we kept in touch. God puts people in your life for a reason. So he was always a good dude.
Yep. That's why your enemies even more so though. They're actually more beneficial. People that fuck you.
you learn more.
If you do, you really do. Yeah.
So Brad, thanks for taking some time out of your day in your life to come down here and talk a little shit with us.
Listen, I'm glad to be of service.
But we just kind of wing it here. No schedules. Obviously we want to talk about the effects of drugs and just not in your life probably. But, we have similar experiences as well. So we'll kind of share a little bit without,
Yeah.
I was pretty young when I started. How old were you when you first,
everybody, teenage years, man, started stealing cigarettes from my mom, smoking weed in the woods, 14, 15 years old, buying 40s at the store.
Buying them?
Yeah, I didn't steal 40s, man.
You ever see that
Italian guys were on that.
He gets stuck in 40s in his fucking jeans. Yeah,
Catch.
It's only Casper.
Wawa and steal Kit Kats, but 40s. They weren't Indian back then. They were old Italian guys in Jersey. They won't let me steal anything.
So you're from New Jersey, huh? What part?
Monmouth County, Central Jersey. It's by the shore. I grew up in the Jersey Shore.
Okay. Jersey Shore boy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the whole bit. They would just picture the Spikes, Affliction shirt.
Oh, shit.
Party shirts.
Okay. The whole
Funny
deal.
about that. I mean, we'll get into this later, but I actually auditioned for the Jersey Shore.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 2008. I
Oh,
was living up here. And I went to go see my cousin. I was 28. Went to a bar called DJ's in Belmar.
Okay.
And my cousin's jacked, steroid head, And his girl was behind him, just staring right at his, like 2 inches from his face. He had a tattoo that said East Coast on his neck, And I was like, "Can I help you? What's going on?" She's like, "Well, I'm auditioning for the show. It's called Jersey Shore, and I want him to audition." I said, "Well, if he's auditioning, I'm auditioning. You don't get him without me." So I'm auditioning too.
You instantly became his agent.
That's it. I was his manager, agent, partner. But next morning we got up, and that was a late night. But we got up, we went down to Seaside, one of the motels they had to set up in. We went into the motel. They dropped an Italian flag behind the door, turned on the camera and said, "Go one at a time. Tell us why we should put you on the show." I thought I was in.
yeah.
I really did.
What'd you tell him?
Well, my daughter was just born. She's about 6 months old. I got the craziest baby mama on the planet. That might be debatable, but I think she is.
I think, baby mama, yeah, I don't know. I might be able to rival you in that one.
Well, I told him, I said, "You want ratings or no?" I said, "You want ratings, put me on the show." I mean, she'll be down there with the baby swing, holding that.
Yeah, throwing your clothes in the fucking
Kicking
street.
the door open, we would have to spin off the whole bit. That's what I said. I couldn't believe they didn't put me on, but I used my real name. It's Brad Dwyer. I'm Sicilian and Irish.
Yeah.
So my last name's Irish. I should have told him like Salvatore Bonaduce or something.
Yeah.
I might have made it. And it's funny, Mike, the situation grew up, he was from 2 towns over from where I am. He was in Marlboro Township. My buddy Joey actually used to train him in the gym.
Okay.
On Route 9, I forget what it was called, but it was in Freehold.
So I met quite a few people from New Jersey. It seems like no matter where you're from, as long as you're within like a 50, 60-mile radius of one another, you just have like a cousin or something. Man, it's like crazy. Or we play football together on some travel team. It's almost like the whole state is a small community. It's wild.
You know each other. I mean, out here is a little bit smaller. Like out there, no one's in your business. Like out here, I can't stand it. Everyone's like, "What's his last name? What's your last name? Who do you know? Do you know this guy? You know that guy?" Can't stand that shit.
That's how you sell jobs around here. You gotta act like their fucking
political.
buddy down the road and shit. Very corrupt. It's in actually it's funny around here. I was probably maybe I shouldn't say this, but you know, they say, you know, man,
Hands
if
gonna
you
fit.
give me cash, you know, we can knock like, you know, I'd knock like 10% off or 5% or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like my second job in business when I was in my 20s. And this dude was a lawyer from New Jersey. And he looks at me and he says, "You really don't have any fucking idea how illegal that is, do you?" And I'm like, "What's illegal about it?" I really didn't fucking know. It's like, well, that's like tax evasion, dude. I'm like, oh, it's so commonplace around here, man.
You'd be in the federal courthouse.
So say that.
Scram.
blow the whole lid off the Wyoming Valley. Motherfuckers will be trying to kill me.
Hey, you gotta watch, man. Uncle Sam's got his shit together. Pay up. I didn't do nothing, but I'll take your money. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Jersey Shore audition, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the story there.
So when you thought you were going to get picked, do you think your ego was involved in a little bit with that?
My
You
ego
know?
is still involved in my life. My friend,
Yeah.
I pray for that thing to get dismantled every day.
Yeah.
You know, it's just vanity, you know, grandiose thoughts, even from a kid, man. I mean, I remember signing up to this Fort Lee, New Jersey. There was a modeling and acting agency called Zazu Management,
Okay.
right? I was 18 or 19 maybe at the time. And I used to go out there. It's about a half hour north from where I was. And, you know, I paid for headshots. I think I got my first credit card just to pay for the fucking headshots, you know. But I was a knucklehead, man. You know, I'd smoke weed before I went in there. You know, and we would do acting classes
Yeah.
and shit. Like, I can play a stoner.
You get a water?
But I think it was all fucking sham. I mean, no one there, but yeah, it was a money scam. But they did. I had an extra job in changing lanes, so I would go out. I would actually hop on New Jersey Transit from what's the train called? I would park in Point Pleasant, go out to the city.
Okay.
Right, train would pull to Grand Central Station, and I would walk down to wherever the set was. You know, and it's crazy, dude. Fucking 8 hours for like a 20-second scene. Like we were just waiting in a fucking room. You know, I kept going outside and smoking.
Yeah, standing around and wait. That's film. That's film.
That's showbiz.
Yeah.
So there's a church scene in Changing Lanes. I guess Ben Affleck was going to the church. He was going to talk to going to confession thing, talk to the priest or something. We were just in a church pew, and I saw the camera like panning down, you know, the middle of the aisle. You know, and you're not supposed to look at the camera, but I was like, you know, I was throwing up the peace sign, trying to get on camera. Like, look at me, man. I fucking made for showbiz, you know. But obviously, you know, I couldn't get out of my own way. And I'm glad I didn't, man. I'd fucking just sold my soul for riches back then. You know, I didn't know God back then. I didn't know, you know, the good part of life, you know, how people should be in life. You know, helping others is the best.
Well, how should they be?
Listen, man. Open, understanding, loving.
We're gonna go way off topic. We get it.
Yeah.
Listen, helping others is the best feeling I ever got in my life. You know,
It is a great feeling. I tell you, because you know, it removes all the selfishness from you. It
absolutely.
really does, because you can't think about yourself if you're thinking about somebody else. So
Unless I'm
Dude,
trying to, well, I mean, we could argue that, and the term they use for that is Karen. You know what I mean?
a Karen.
A care. She just cares, man. She's trying to help.
Yeah.
The masquerade.
I'm just glad that shit didn't work out the way I wanted it to, because, you know, I get to live another life now, you know,
Mhm.
and I mean, there's some fucking crazy stories, dude. You know,
So like when you first, you know, started like, drinking and hanging out and
Yeah.
partying, I'm sure it didn't get carried away right away, because I
Right
know
away.
when I was drinking and stuff, dude, I had fun for a lot of years. I mean, don't get me wrong, like there was trouble that came with those, because I was making a lot of irresponsible decisions
Yeah.
day in and day out, and eventually they catch up with you. But when you're younger, you have the energy and the tenacity to kind of,
That was fun too.
you know what I mean? It was like just another obstacle for me to get back to the bar. Like, no problem. I'll fix this shit by like 2:00 this afternoon. I'll talk everybody off the ledge. And
for me, the early on, the fun was very short lived, man. I just needed to do whatever I could to get out of myself. You know, I wanted to be different, feel different than I felt, right? And I don't know why, you know. And I've been trying to seek that, even, not through therapy, but just talking about it to see. I always wanted to get hypnotized. I want to see why. Like, I don't know why I want to feel different.
I don't know if you know this, but he actually is a hypnotist.
Okay, we can we can reconvene in
Look
that.
into my eyes.
No, I don't want to do it. Don't make eye contact with this guy. No.
He'll be running around jacking off.
You got a camera. No, but the first time I went to rehab, I was 17, and buddy in high school, his parents were veterinarians, so we had ketamine by the case.
Ooh, that's a good time.
So, and I remember in school suspension, we were just sniff K all day, So we would drop acid in school too. So it was acid and ketamine, right?
Acid's my favorite.
Buddy, they don't make it like that. I mean, I haven't tried it these days, but back then we were fucking.
Now I'd probably spend Imagine coming out of a fucking Narcan blast, stripping your balls off, fucking detox and all at the same time.
Woo! But yeah, I remember having a glass plate in my bedroom, and the fucking lamp to heat it up. You pour it out, heat it up, and I don't know. I was going to high school. I was dropping acid. I was coming home. I was sniffing K. It was fucking bad. I just didn't want to be me, which is crazy because I fucking love myself.
Yeah, it's a weird.
It is. Yeah,
it's a strange relationship that addicts and alcoholics tend to have with themselves. I don't think everyone's like that, but I could relate. When I was younger, I spent a good bit of time not wanting to be me, and I remember when I was pretty young. I was out in the woods at this, I finally got invited with the older kids to come out in a bush party, fire, girls, four-wheelers, breaking the rules. And I remember one of the older kids was really against giving me any kind of alcohol, and one of the other ones really liked me, and he's like, here, just don't let Chris see you drinking that shit. So I ran back in the woods, I slammed it, and I slammed the second one, and dude, I found myself right there, and I chased that for a long time.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Fuck yeah, man. But I knew something was wrong, right? I knew I could be better. I knew that it wasn't a good path. So I went to my mother. I said, I need some help. And
how old were you when you asked for help? 17?
17. Okay. Yeah, 17. Because actually, when I came out of that, it was a 3-month rehab. It was New Hope Foundation in Marlboro Township, New Jersey. And went to that rehab. It was the adolescent rehab. And I got out. I went to an outpatient in Mattawan.
Well, let's slow down a little bit. In the treatment facility, was there other young teenagers the same age in there as well with you?
It was younger. Yeah, younger, same age.
Was it?
It's like 14, 18, maybe.
Was it co-ed or was it?
It was co-ed, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we didn't sleep in the same bedrooms, but it was girls in.
Sure.
Yeah.
How many of them did you bang?
I didn't, actually.
Loser.
What a chump.
Well, I told me to be honest. An honest man these days.
On this dick.
It's funny, but one of the kids, there was like 5 to a room, 6 to a room bunk beds. So one of the kids, his name was Wayne, real young kid, short kid. His mom's name was May, and she was so hot, dude. She would come on Family Day like once a week.
Oh, dude, he probably got roasted.
Dude, let me tell you something. It's the first time I ever knew what a fifi was. We had a dude in the kitchen stealing gloves, and we would bring him our towels.
Sure.
Right? And we make everybody was in a room at night jerking off that fucking thing. And we would be like, oh, May. And he would be on the bottom of him like, shut the fuck up, guys. That shit was fun. She was hot, dude. She was smoke show. But it was a good experience, man,
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
It's fun, crazy. It was the first time I ever saw my dad cry. My dad came to, I don't know, he had this table thing, right? And fucking, they didn't know what to do with me. Mm-hmm. They just they were done. You know what I mean? They tried to help me fill it in. But, so the guy that led the thing said, Mr. Dwyer, stand up, Brad, stand up. And he said, turn to each other. And he said, Mr. Dwyer, tell him how you feel. And he just boom, burst out in a tear. I'd never seen this man cry in my life. I didn't even know he could, And he just grabbed me, hugged me. and my selfish bullshit. I was looking around like, these fucking people are seeing my dad cry. I don't want my dad to look like a pussy, I swear to God, that's what I fucking thought. But no, he got that out, which was cool and shit. But I don't know. But after that outpatient in Mattawan, right? 6 months, graduate. I did bang one girl in the outpatient.
That's good. That's good.
So I just wanted to get on his
you got
his good graces. So I was the first one to graduate it, right? They're like, we're gonna grant you a trip to Ireland with a bunch of rich kids. And I looked and I said, you sure? I said, okay. I mean, I was 18 at the time. So I'm on a fucking plane.
So wait a minute. So you just stopped being a piece of shit, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna give you a fucking all-paid trip to go."
All-paid trip to Ireland, Newcastle. Okay. We stayed in a YMCA camp. The whole thing, man. Irish kids came up to stay with us, fucking boys and girls. We got pictures of shit. And but the drinking age was 18 in Ireland. So what did I see? What did I see on the way up to that YMCA camp was the pubs downtown Newcastle. So it was work, brains were, wheels were turning. So I waited till about midnight, 1 a.m, everyone's sleeping. I'd fucking sneak out. I'd go down to the pubs. Those Irish girls love American guys, bro. That's how I found that out. But I would drink and I would go back up 2, 3 a.m, and it was a fucking no lights, dude. I was climbing a fucking mountain back to this YMCA camp. And it was pitch black. I could see from me to you in front of me. I did that a couple nights in a row, and I took one of the kids with me. That was a mistake that I made. Took one of the kids with me. He went down with me to the fucking pub, and we drank, and then all of a sudden, he was gone out of the pub. And I was like, fuck, dude. So I went back up. Everybody was up in the day room. They're calling back home. They want to send me home and shit.
He was all liquored up. Yes. Back. I blew up the spot.
I was like, yeah, straight up. He probably know he fucking ratted him. I don't remember his name, but fuck that kid. But no, they ended up letting me stay there, and I didn't do it no more. Actually, I ended up having a great fucking time. The Blarney Stone, Giant's Causeway, went to see castles. Fucking Ireland's like untouched, dude. It's majestic out there, Made some friends. I'm actually friends with one of the fucking Irish kids still on Facebook. His name's Oogsy. Yeah, Gordon Millar. He's a good dude. We still fucking go back and forth talking. This was back in 98.
Could he fight?
Fucking Irish kid. Fuck yeah, he can fight. I didn't see it, but he looks scrappy as fuck.
That country's falling apart right now, from what I understand. It's they're Conor McGregor's trying to run for president, dude.
I think he'd do a good job. You know what I mean? He seems right. He seems right for it.
A little CTE. Couple blows to the dome,
He'll be sniffing something right off that. Whatever they got over there for that.
The Blarney Stone desk.
But yeah, I came back from that. And just got back into the same shit. You know how it is. You're not ready to fucking stop anything. Mm-hmm. You want your life to be exciting. You don't want to be yourself. You want to feel different. So just got back with the same guys.
When you came back, though, like, what were you doing to provide for yourself? Did you just get, like, a small job that kind of allowed you to party some more? Or did you try to, like, say, hey, I'm going to dive into work to try to...
Not yet. I dove into work after I got out of jail. I think I was working at Woolies Fish Market, like, fucking taking those red snappers out of the fucking truck and putting them in the ice in there, something like that, But we would rob people, man. Like, yeah, dude. Fucking that dude Joey that I told you that trained Situation, right? Mm-hmm. He was fucking jacked. It looked like the Incredible Hulk, So it was always good to have him as a friend. But him and a couple of the guys, one guy we called the Russian, his name's Andre. We would just set people up, rob. It would be quarter pounds. The one thing that got us in the clink was we robbed a drug dealer for 250 pills of ecstasy. And my man Joey told him that he was going to trade him a case of ketamine for 250 pills of E. I remember I was at Golden Bell Diner on Route 9, and he called me. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and he said, I need your help. Anytime he said that, I was right on it. I was part of the crew. We were ride or die. We were going to do it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, pick me up at Golden Bell. I get my girlfriend some money. I said, go back, you know, bring the food. We didn't get the food yet. So bring the food back to the house. I'll be back, I don't know, in a half hour, however long it takes. So I get in the car. This girl, Dana's driving, and Joey and the Russian are in the car. I get in the back seat, and I'm like, what are we doing? They told me what we're doing. We have to go to Sayreville at a hotel. We're going to rob this kid for these pills. I was okay. It's February, and about a half hour or 20-minute half hour ride up Route 9. And we pull into the hotel. And we go into the room, and I'm looking at Joey. I said, you got nothing that looks like a box. Like, what are you going to do? Just, like, so he took his hoodie off and he like bundled it up in his arms. And we went into the hotel room and he went to put the kid was like laying on a fucking bed or something. I don't know. And he put like his sweatshirt down on the stand, and then he just starts yelling at him, giving him the pills, and he went to go punch him. And the kid screamed so fucking loud. He was nuts. I mean, no one wants his kid to hit them. It looks like he'd knock your head right off his shoulders, you know? So he gave up the pills, obviously. And I'm at the end of the bed. I have a Tommy Hill pea coat on, dude. And I got my finger in my pocket like I got a fucking gun. And we didn't have a gun, but I just, you know, just to fucking add to the scene, I guess. So he gave up the pills. He had like $1,100 on him. We took that. And I think Joey threw like 200 on the bed and said, get back on your feet. You can just fucking take all this, but whatever.
That's altruism right there.
There you go. See? It's that balance. You gotta have the balance. He thought he you know, redeemed himself and taking the rest of the shit. But we get back in the car, and fucking Joey's rolling a blunt. I wanted to smoke weed. So he didn't drop me off at my girlfriend's house. We dropped the Russian off for Freehold, and we went to proceed to Howell. I said, I'll just have my girlfriend pick me up at Dana's house. So we pull in front of Dana's house, and fucking 5-6 cop cars. Guns are out. They're getting us out of the car one at a time. And I got my cut of the pills I had in my boot, right? And Joey had the most. He probably had 150 pills left, you know? And he's like, what the fuck? So they got Dana out of the car, and there's snow on the curb. So he had an idea he was going to open the door and like kick the pills in the snow. And I thought he was going to get shot, man. Like, they got the guns drawn in the car. You don't get out of the car until they fucking tell you.
Yeah.
So he gets out, but he has his hands up and shit.
That is that big assuming guy, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is the Incredible Hulk. So,
so the cops are very cautious.
Yeah, they're
they're
fucking ready.
Like, this guy's gonna fucking bench press the cars. Yeah,
they throw the car at us. Yeah. So he gets out. He kicks the pills in the snow. They're cuffing him. They get me out. They're cuffing me. So as they're cuffing me, the cop that's cuffing me goes, "Oh shit!" Right? And I hear this commotion behind us. We both turn around. My friend Joey's cuffed behind his back, sprinting down the road, bro. Makes it like 3 blocks, and there's ice on the road, and he just fucking slips on the ice. He has no way to fucking can't brace himself, knocks himself out right in the fucking street, dude. Splits his head open. We were actually like making fun of him through the fucking the medical part of the hospital, whatever that's called, the medical ward. But yeah, so we got locked up. Ended up that the kid got the license plate from the camera from the hotel of the car. He called his buddy, whose the pills were, and his buddy told him to say, call the cops till they robbed you for like 8 G's with at gunpoint. So that's why they thought we had a gun. So so we got locked up there, and I didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen, you know.
So like when they first got you in, booked you, took you in, set you in quarantine,
right?
You know, put a uniform on you, do the whole demoralizing strip search and all of that shit. You know, spread them, cough, all of that jazz. I know that motion. What was going through your head as you were standing there? Because that was the first time you were ever locked up.
No, I mean, I was
for something major.
Yeah, definitely something major.
What was going through your head?
Freedom. I don't know.
Were you like thinking about like regretting your choices that you've made up to that point with your life?
No, man. I was thinking about having my girlfriend bail me out and fucking booking it, just going somewhere. That's actually what we were thinking. Me and Joe were talking about in the cell because they put us in the same cell together.
It's wild
We were
though
gonna
how
have
the
our
human
girlfriends
brain
make us-
works when you get in most normal people would be like, okay,
Yeah, it's, I
Maybe I should.
maybe I should kind of
Reflect
change
on
my
this.
ways a little bit. Nah,
was trying to have someone sign to
We're
get
gonna
me out, and then
double
have the
down.
cops never find me again.
yeah.
I didn't want to go through that. I didn't know.
Pause for 1 second.
Sure.
What do you got to fart? What?
What did we do? Not recording?
What?
Just look behind you, you'll see. Thank God that popped up on there. I'm so fucking happy to know this. Oh, do you have an update for me? Oh, that's fucking great.
Do it. I was gonna say don't do it.
Scumbag.
Good.
Nice. Continue.
All right.
Yeah. So like we were just saying, most people would start to reconsider your life choices, but
No, I wasn't done. I wanted life to be exciting.
Mhm.
You know, I remember having a thought when I was young. My father was coming home from work. I was like 10, 11. I'm standing in the front yard. He's driving home from work. Was a union electrician. And I was thinking to myself, like, this is it. Like, this is life. Like, you go to work, you come home, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you get up, you go to work. No, I didn't want that. I don't know.
Oh, I hear that, man.
Yeah, I just want life to be fucking
Which
exciting.
is exciting, yeah. Fucking, I want to thrill every minute, every fucking day. You know,
Exactly.
and that's, yeah. If it wasn't thrilling, then it was. Honestly, it sucked.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, is it thrilling
Right.
or it sucked? And,
Like, what's the
and
fucking
it sucked
purpose?
a lot more than it was thrilling, but you know, but just shit like that was like, yeah, it was bad, but it wasn't though because it was part of the plan. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the plan went awry, but it's someone else's fault.
Yeah.
It's fucking, you know, if the world wasn't so fucked up, or if cops weren't pieces of shit, or if people weren't snitching, there's always something else like that, you know.
If Jersey didn't have
Yeah.
2 license plates, you know what I mean? What the fuck?
Yeah.
If it just had a back one, we'd have got away with it. Fuck Jersey. Get rid of the front plate.
Dude, Jersey's crazy. I was just at a seminar in Atlantic City, and I didn't know they were crazy with like cell phones in the car. So like I'm fucking going down the road and I'm like trying to, change music or something. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was probably showing my buddy John like a video. You know what I mean? Like, yo, check this meme out. And trooper pulls up next to me, gets behind me, and John's like, fuck. You know what I mean? And we're
They're
both
busting your balls over a cell
Oh,
phone.
pulled me right over.
No
He gave me a warning because he was like, "What were you doing on your phone?" I was like, "Changing
Like
some
texting
music."
and driving.
No, I was like, just looking to change my music. He was like, "Well, why didn't you use the touch screen?" I said, "Because it's easier with my phone. I don't even really have to look at it. I kind of know where everything is." He was like, "Okay, license registration." I said, it was crazy because my ID was expired. You know what I mean? So I was like, "It's expired. I have a picture of a camera card though, to get a new one." He went back, came back, gave me a warning. But they're crazy with that shit out there. They see you on a phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
New York though, fucking, they get you for that too.
Yeah.
They'll pull you over for not having a seatbelt on. I was coming from PA into New York, just driving on 81, and you know what I mean. They won't pull you over for no seatbelt here, but in New York, I had a guy, dude, roll up alongside of me. The cop's looking at me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what am I doing wrong? And he's just staring at me, pulls me over. Didn't have a seatbelt on. Oh, like, holy fuck.
They actually,
kidding
dude,
me.
like New York, if a cop's coming at you, they have the technology to see how fast you're
Yeah.
going. They don't have to
Yep.
be stationary or anything.
Yeah,
Shit.
my Ryan got a speeding ticket like that. Cop coming at him. He still couldn't figure that one out, but yeah,
Listen, I never used to wear a seatbelt, and I saw a video once. This guy had a convertible, right? And the convertible was upside down, right? And whatever accident, I didn't see the accident prior. They were just showing this part, right? And 10 people are flipping over the car, right? The car's flipped over. The guy had enough fucking brains before the car, I guess, flipped over to recline his seat all the way back. And he had a seatbelt on. So when he flipped the car over, he was alive. He was like this.
Just hanging in there.
Just fucking hanging on for dear life, dude. But not hurt, not even scratched, man. And the guy that after they flipped over the car, he's like, "That's why you wear your fucking
Dude, that's like
seatbelt,
some
man."
Jason Bourne shit, bro.
Yeah, right.
To recline the seat, right? The
Yeah.
fucking right.
Thank God he had a
James
manual.
Bond.
Yeah, I was gonna say
me. It reminds me of that fucking dude on the bike when the car hits the intersection and the fucking they fucking collide, and then the bike flips over. The dude just jumps off and lands and starts walking. You know what I mean? Like, that's that guy. That's some slick shit. Like, how do you think of that? Like, you know what I mean? Think of all the shit you got to process to fucking like recline the seat.
Yeah. Well, your survivor skills is fucking.
yeah, your brain goes, man.
Yeah.
It moves quick when it needs to.
Hell yeah, man. I remember I was up for days. I had an apartment in West Side, right? This was probably 2004, 2005. Just moved up, maybe 2006. And in the restaurant business, I was bartender, server, caterer, and was up for like 2 days, right? Did a fucking probably 2 8-balls. I called my buddy and I was like, "Listen, I need some calm down." And he was like, "I got 2 bags for you," right? So he had 2 waxes. I went over there. He was only 2 minutes down the block, a couple lefts, couple rights. And I poured both bags out, right? And he goes, "Bro, wait. He goes, "Dude, this is like fucking straight from Afghanistan poppy fields, dude. Like, don't." I was looking at him like, "Bro, you don't know my tolerance. Are you fucking crazy?" So I sniffed both of them just right out, dude. Boom. And he's pushing me like a half hour later. He's like, "Bro, I got family coming over. You gotta go. You gotta go." I said, "All right." So I get in the car. I had an Explorer at the time. Put my seatbelt on because I knew I was gonna nod out before the end of the fucking block. I knew it, dude.
Yeah, this isn't gonna be good.
Yeah.
Put the cruise control on.
No joke.
Did you put your seatbelt on?
100%. Before I got to the end of the block, I was on the other side of the street. So I made the right? And then I'm like, I got the music blasting, windows down. I said, "You're fucking 2 blocks up, Brad, to your apartment. Just get there, dude." I wake up past my block, right? So, and thank God, like, whatever, no cars were coming on because I would always swerve back over to my lane. So I turn around at Dollar General. It's actually right on Main Street in Taylor. There's actually a Walmart there now. It used to be a Dollar General there. So I turn around in the Dollar General and I start going again and I nod out again. Now, I'm in the oncoming lane going faster than the car I'm supposed to be behind, right? So imagine that guy looking over and just sees this. In the wrong lane, dude, right? So the car's just drifting, right? The car's drifting. There's a concrete pillar, probably like 2 feet off the ground on a corner, right? And whatever it was there for. And my left tire hits it, right? So that's when I wake up. My left tire hits the concrete pillar. I wake up sideways in the air. The passenger side of the Explorer hits the ground, slides through this guy's fence and into his tree. And this is like fucking Main Street at 2 p.m., dude, in West Side.
I know right where you are.
So as soon as I stop, as soon as I hit the tree, I got my window open. Obviously, my window's above me. I take my seatbelt off and I jump out of the fucking Explorer. As soon as I hit the ground and turn around, it blows up. Poof.
Holy fuck.
No joke. Dude, the tree was on fire. The flames were 40 feet high. So, and everyone's just, dude, cops, news, people. And I'm sitting on the fucking curb while the fire trucks are putting the fucking flames out in the truck. And as soon as I put the flames out, I want my fucking cell phone, right? And the cops came up to me and he was like, "Brad, what happened?" I said, "Well, I swerved, just real quick thinking." I said, "A dog's running." I swerved from a dog and I didn't want to hit it. And I hit that fucking concrete pillar. I kept talking shit about that pillar. "Why is that there?" And so I go sit down and
that cop couldn't figure out that you were fucking spun out for 2 days. And
bro, he was
part of
probably about 73, about to retire. He didn't want to do this paperwork. You know what I mean?
Not out in the middle of talking to the cop.
I think my adrenaline.
I'm just really tired, man.
I just
really
I must have hit my head real hard.
No, my adrenaline was that nodding off was over after that. But and he called. I was waiting, and he called over. Some guy was fucking talking to him, and he called over, and he was like, "Brad, which way was the dog running?" So someone was chirping in his ear. Probably the guy I was driving faster, supposed to be behind. So, and I just pointed the right way. He was running that way because if he's running that way, I swerve to the left. If he's running to the right, you know. So then I go over. I try to get my cell phone out of the Explorer, and I'm looking in the back of it like this to see what I got in the back if I have to get anything out. And then one of the news people, journalists, they take a picture of that, right? So the next morning in the paper, you got that picture, my Explorer on its side, of me trying to look in the back window. And under it, no joke, it says, Brad Dwyer of Scranton escapes fiery death by saving animal's life. It's a true story, bro.
Bravo.
You're welcome.
Well done.
Like, what did the dog look like? Oh, he was the cutest dog ever.
You find that dog, I want it. But it's funny. I still was surprised when the cop looked over and said, "All right, Brad, you're good to go." Yeah, I don't know. I had no shirt on. I had soot.
So now what?
I started sprinting towards my apartment. I couldn't believe he said, "You're good to go."
So that probably made you feel untouchable, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just
100%.
Teflon,
That's what
Teflon Don.
the survival tactics. They're through the roof.
Yeah.
I can survive anything. I still think that sometimes. No shit.
Yeah, well, the invincibility thing, I definitely had that, you know.
Yeah.
We I boss cops around and they would listen. Like, it was so weird. I mean, yeah, it was really, really strange. I thought that you know, they work for us, man. We're the fucking taxpayers, you know what I mean? So, you know, and as it turns out, what I think was actually going on was they just didn't think anyone that was actually committing a crime would be that confident, you know what I mean? Right. So they just assumed that I didn't do nothing wrong, because who the fuck would do that, you know what I mean? Like, but I own the world, you know what I mean? I'm in charge of all of this, and you guys are beneath me.
And that's why you.
And they seem to just follow fucking suit.
Play the fucking part.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with that small town mentality as well. Like where I grew up, like the cops didn't really bust your balls unless you were like extremely violent, you know, guns, maybe selling drugs, you know, things like that, you know, but drinking and driving in Schuylkill County, that was like a rite of passage. Like, what do you mean you don't have a fucking DUI? Like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Weirdo.
Yeah, like you got out of high school without a DUI?
I went a long time with just getting out of them all the time because I knew, you know, I don't want to say who it was,
right,
but I knew it, dude. I just throw his card with my ID over fucking, you know what I mean? They're like, all right, well, just come get your car in the morning. I'm like, absolutely. You know what I mean? I'd walk around the store, get back in it, drive it to fun. They'd watch me drive away again. Like, I didn't even wait for them to get away. Like, yeah, all right. Like, I know you're breaking the law right now, so you kind of have to turn your fucking head, you know what I mean? Act like you didn't see me and all that shit. Yeah, so it's like, man, dude, I was 30 by the time I ever got in any real trouble. I mean, dude, we'd be driving around with tanks of anhydrous and fucking book bags of lithium batteries, and you know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Fucking boxes of pseudoephedrine, window spray painted black, license plate taken off the car so they couldn't identify, so they, you know what I mean? Driving the fuck around with all that shit, dude.
Begging to get caught.
So, dude, I can't believe that the newspaper just like made you out to be a hero. So, like, what was the
I was in like fucking.
What was the next day like for Brad Dwyer, the hero? We're like, did you have family calling you, or like, did you say, "Hey, mom, look what I did"?
No, I needed to pay my fucking Explorer off.
Well, your insurance covered that, didn't it?
No, I made calls.
But like, you didn't use that to your advantage in any kind of way.
What do you mean?
Like being the hero.
No,
like instead of being like the fate. Yeah, okay, all right. I would have took that a different direction.
Go ahead.
You know?
Elaborate.
Well, I just would have used that to my advantage to make everybody think that, see, I told you I got my shit together. You know, look how great I am.
Meanwhile, to your friends, you let them know,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
fucking have a good
Everyone-
laugh about it.
Everyone knew what the fuck I was doing besides
Right.
in the newspaper.
I just really care about animals.
Me and the knob squatter.
I
Yeah.
love dogs.
I'm thinking of joining PETA.
You know what's funny, dude?
I'm getting the blue chip.
6 months later, I fucking
Not to be confused with Blue Chew. We're not sponsored.
yeah. Maybe we want to holler at me, Blue Chew. But 6 months later, I fucking total. I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee after that Explorer. I totaled that downtown Scranton, leaving Molly Brannigan's. Right, smashed right into a fucking light pole. And the cop that came, I tried the same shit. I was like, I swear from a dog. And he was like, bro, it's downtown Scranton. There's no fucking dogs running around here. Walk that line right there. So that was my DUI, bud.
Yeah.
I got
The same one.
same dog.
Last
I saved the same dog twice. Love that dog. Yeah, it didn't work that time. That's just a side note.
Man, those signs on the side of the road, DUI, you can't afford it. They ain't lying.
I ain't lying. That shit was fucking 10 G's, and that
Yeah.
was back in 2007, 8.
Yeah, all the classes you got to go through. Your insurance goes through the roof.
Somehow I talked my probation officer out of the color system,
Okay.
where you got to fucking wake up at like 5, 6 in the morning, see if your color's called. I don't know.
That's
You
a
know
great
how
way to
we
get
are.
locked up. That's a great way to get locked up, is being on that. I know too many people actually make it.
Nah, it's straight set up.
It really is,
Set up.
man.
Yeah, I remember when I first cleaned up, I got really close with my buddy George, and he was on drug court program. And he had to wake up every morning, call colors. And
George
then-
from Sanctuary House? Big George, Bald George?
No,
Not him?
no.
Right.
So he would wake up, call his color, and it didn't get called for like months, dude. Like 3 months, he didn't get pulled in for testing once. But the way that it is with the appointments and stuff, he had to work second shift, and then he just hated working second shift. He was just getting sober, kind of sporadic. So instead of having a job, they'd give him like 20 hours community service every fucking week, dude. He pretty much lived at St. Vincent's Soup Kitchen, dude, just volunteering, dude. That was like his 40-hour-a-week job, and he would just bank hours, dude, for community service, because it was just like a straight setup. Because he didn't get called for like 3 months.
That's nuts.
He wakes up one day, forgets the call.
Mm.
That's the only time his color got called.
So it was by design.
Yeah, and he was just like, "Fuck."
Poor guy's feeding homeless.
So
people.
he's a year sober. He goes in front of the judge, and they say the county says, "Yeah, we want to house him for the weekend." They want to lock him up for the weekend for missing a drug test. Well, he didn't miss it. He was late and he passed it,
Yeah.
And he was like, "Listen, Your Honor, I just celebrated a year sober yesterday. This is the first time my color's been called. I passed. It's not like I dodged it. I just forgot." He says, "Well, George, just consider this a minor hiccup in your sobriety. See you Monday."
Wow.
And they fucking took him, So it just always seemed to me like the drug court program was kind of corrupt,
Most things out here are, right? I'm sure it saves
Yeah.
lives, though.
Yeah,
I think it's better
definitely
than what
has.
was there. Yeah, honestly, man. At least you got a shot now if you're trying to, come
yeah.
through this.
I know the Catholic Social Services had a big hand in that back then, and Gloria, I'll say her name out loud because I hate that bitch.
You dislike her.
No.
Wow, you don't hate anything.
Nah, she's just
Put that out there.
Yeah, she's a bad person. Some people just like they have that authoritative thing and they take it too far.
Okay.
She was
because she cares.
yeah. She cared about being in charge. And
She's just trying to.
you
just
need to
trying
bow down. to
Why
her.
doesn't like being
She's just trying to help, man.
Well, I never
loves
had.
you.
Well, I was managing sober living homes at the time, and I had a lot of guys that were doing really good,
Yeah.
and they would make. I mean, we're humans, dude. Like it's like
Yeah.
I had to go down there a couple times. I'm like, Gloria, you have a job, right? Or do you do it perfect every day, or do you make mistakes? Does your boss ever ask you for things that you didn't hit a deadline on? I'm sure, because you're a human, And that's not the point. And I'm like, that
It's not the
kind of,
point.
it's
It's
kind of
not-
is the point.
it's not the point.
I was like, I have guys that are on a good good track here. You know, they got good sobriety going. They're talking to their kids. They're being fathers again. They're taxpayers, and you just want to throw them in jail because they missed your little appointment from 1 to 2 o'clock because they were at work trying to earn money so they don't go to jail for child support. It's like, what are you, fucking high?
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to, oh, dude.
That's
Let
Karen.
Wanted to smack
You know
the
what?
fucking
Get
shit out
Gloria
of her.
on this show.
She was high on Karen.
Yeah.
She cares so much.
I'd probably fucking spit on her, dude. For real.
I like the honesty, Blay. I've always liked your
Well,
honesty.
you know, I was a knucklehead, and when I finally straightened up, I was given an opportunity to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I was pretty good at it. And it was just, I would see all these other people that have been doing it for years with nil success, you know, and I was just trying to be, hey, listen, what I'm doing is working. So like, let's.
Well, let me ask you a
Come on
serious
over
question
here.
about that, though.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think Gloria would think about turning off all the traffic lights?
Oh, there's no order. Are you kidding me?
What do you think? What do you think, she'd be on your side or my side?
She'd be on my side. Yeah. There's a way to.
Let that sink in.
Previous discussion, I see.
Yeah.
That's another win for me.
So,
He likes
well, we're in Draper's world, he believes there shouldn't be traffic lights. He thinks that everybody is kind of
Here and there, here and there.
he thinks every intersection should operate like everyone does in India. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and less trying to control the uncontrollable, you get better results. That's all. You know, and also I don't think there should be stop signs. I think there should be don't stop signs.
I think Draper just wants to lessen the world population. I think that's where he's going with this.
It's not such a bad thing.
No, but think about it.
See him in
Don't
Davos
stop
next
sign.
year.
Isn't that safer? How's a don't stop sign not safer? How do you run a don't stop sign? Think about
I've
it.
never seen one.
Think there's stop. You stop. Exactly. How is that bad? Yeah, I fucking missed the don't stop sign, so I stopped.
Dude, that would fuck the cops right up.
That's hilarious.
You know, and if there's a don't stop sign, you just keep fucking going. You know what I mean? Don't stop.
So
Put
do
me in
you
charge of
do you,
transportation,
yeah,
bro. I want to see what the fuck happens. I'm kind of curious.
I got this.
The
Draper
Draper
be like, everybody's in reverse
shit
shit.
show the park.
So you got a DUI, man, right? So you get through all of that stuff.
Right.
So I know too, because I have a couple of those.
Yeah.
You know, you get a PO. You know, some of them, you know, drug test you, some of them don't. I know my DUIs, they weren't really interested in drug tests, maybe a breathalyzer here and there.
Yeah.
Did they like try to force you to go to like any kind of 12-step meetings for that stuff at that point yet?
Yeah.
Did you have to get like a little paper signed and shit and bring it into them?
You know what? I can't remember back then. I think I might have just went on my own. I'm not sure. Maybe just to make it look good with them. I might have had to get a paper signed. I mean, that's probably what they do. But I've been going to meetings since Jersey, you know, since I came out of New Hope Foundation in there. So I was always, you know, touch and go on AA meetings and learning about, you know.
So you kind of
12
always knew
steps.
it was there.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Do
I
you
knew
think it would help you at some point? Like when
Yeah.
you were younger, you thought it would work?
I knew it was something different that I haven't tried. And, you know, I thought it could work. Let's just say that. And I thought it's something I can try that might help me out.
Okay. I think it's
And not
interesting,
want to
man.
be different, you know, just okay with myself.
I think it's cool that you like pretty interesting. You wanted to do that so young, man. That you actually had an interest in it so young. I didn't at all. You know, like that's pretty cool actually. You know.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was searching for that inner peace, man. I was searching for that. I'm okay, you know, and, you know, I thought it might have been, you know, a route I could take to try to get that, and ended up being that actually brought me to being okay with myself, you know, certain stages of my life, let's say.
So you recognize that could possibly be a solution to your issues,
Correct.
and you hung on to that idea.
It was definitely in the
And
back
then
of
when
my
it
brain
was-
all the time.
And it was time for you to grow up. It kind of worked out for you.
That's the first place I went when I knew I needed to change.
You know, it's funny
Different
because
points in my life.
I've talked to a lot of people that have similar situations and stories, you know, and it just seems like that is a common ground where everybody seems to gravitate towards when they're at their
Well, where the
wits' end.
fuck else do you go?
That's what I mean. It's the only spot.
Therapists.
It's the only spot left.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
Couple other-
yeah.
It's kind of weird though. It's like
This before you do.
you can talk to.
Now there's some boxes I go back and check out.
Yeah, check them again. Hey,
in and out.
maybe this time.
It's controllable.
Yeah. There's just missing one little variable. It's adjust that, and we'll see.
Yeah, it's like wild though. You know, you can. I know people that come from great families. You know, all these resources and stuff. And I've all kinds of doctors, counselors with, you know, a whole wall full of degrees, you know.
Yeah.
But I find out in 12-step meetings, the guys that didn't graduate high school, never really had an education after that. They're the ones that are most helpful.
Absolutely.
They kind of know more actually how that stuff works. It's just an experience thing.
Well, that shit is passed down.
Yeah.
I mean, how many millions of lives that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the bigger the scumbag you are,
The more
more
qualified.
qualified you are. Yeah, that's actually
else
interesting
can you
about
go
that CRS position.
Yeah.
Bigger the scumbag you are, the fucking more qualified you are for the job. It's like, that's great.
Well, I can remember being in like any treatment center I was ever in. I knew within seconds of talking to my counselor if they were in recovery or not.
Oh yeah,
I knew.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, Melissa, come on, stop it.
Yeah.
You drink 2 glasses of wine and you're like, ooh, I better stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, you got any meth? You know?
You want to try this?
Yeah.
Speaking of meth,
Yeah.
That's the devil's drug, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, bro.
Well, it's made from like chemicals underneath that fucking trailer park sink. You know?
That's what's not. My Coke man ran out of Coke,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Well, I got this," and I was like, "Isn't that fucking made of like battery acid and shit?" I was like, "No, I don't want to fucking do that." Right? A couple days go by, still no Coke. All right, out at the bar drinking. All right, I'll try some of that stuff. 5 days later, I'm fucking crashing my car through a house, thinking that fucking I was gonna be a initiation for fucking somebody to get into the Crips. I'm not kidding. It was fucking. I was talking to ghosts in my apartment, calling my landlord, telling her it's haunted. Fuck, dude. I'm not kidding, dude. There was shadow people just popping off the fucking wall, dude. I saw shadow people on the wall. There's a big one, a little one, pop off the wall. Then I would see the shadow of the shadow person on the couch walking by.
You just got to make friends with the shadow people, dude. They're there to help you, not hurt you.
and
The other ghost that was fucking
they're
there.
real. It's just you can only see them when you're on meth.
Like a different dimension, right? I swear to God, these motherfuckers are real. And the ghosts that I saw that were real. There was one ghost floating around the fucking apartment. And I was like, listen, just sit down. Please. I said, listen, sit down right here. I said, we got to talk. I was like, listen, as long as you don't start slamming shit and the fucking cabinets aren't open when I get up, stay as long as you want, man.
No
Get a
tripping.
dry erase board to get a fucking schedule going here. You know, when do you want me gone? I'll be back. You know, be roommates. Bro. I'm legit talking to ghosts.
What was was there a response or what? Was he in agreement or?
I thought I saw him nod. You know, but no, that fucking drug. I don't even. Just the demons that surround you with that fucking drug is crazy, man.
Well, I think a big
in a dark fucking world.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that is because you're up for so long too. So if you just stay awake without any drugs for a long period of time,
That shit starts
you
happening.
get loose. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah,
And what's crazy is like I was going to work.
Oh, you're better at work.
Bro, I
Your
was
boss
selling
loves you
cars.
for the first 2 months.
What
You're like, look at this fucking guy. He's amazing. Dude, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I'm like, I'm fucking gonna. I'm absolutely gonna. Like, I'm showing up early. I'm fucking staying late. Killing it.
I
Fucking
thought I
killing
was
it.
killing it too at work. They brought me in the office twice. They're like, bro, are you fucking okay? I look strung the fuck out. And he's like, you're fucking acting all excited and shit. I'm like, well, I'm fucking animated, you know, and I'm good at my job, you know, dealing with clients. I don't even know. But Fucking, that ended very bad. Very bad, dude.
Well,
Yo,
I never
in
heard
my-
of stories with that drugs involved. They're like, yeah, and then I became a successful business owner. We still do crank every day. You know, it's never happened.
It's possible though.
I
It
mean,
might get there.
You should have been a musician. You know, it seems to be the only way.
Dave Mustaine.
But it's fucking. It just put me around the wrong people. So in my apartment,
Not
it's-
even real ones.
real ones and fake ones. Put me around the wrong motherfuckers.
Did you ever introduce any real people to the fake people? Be like, yo, Kev, meet Melvin, man. He's cool as shit.
That actually might have happened because there was fucking people in my apartment. I thought I'd swear, bro. I was talking to my daughter, like I'm talking to you right now, and she wasn't fucking there. She wasn't there. She was answering me. She wasn't fucking there. So I'm in my apartment. It's the fucking fifth day, right? It's downtown setting. So I'm in a building. I got a window that opens up to the fire escape, right? So I'm smoking a cigarette out the window. People come up the fire escape. I think I know them. Yeah, you do. Like not thinking, I'm like, hey, come on in. Not thinking that they would fucking go to the front door, even though it was like Fort Knox, dude. It was the front doors through two other doors and down to the street, right? All three doors were locked. So as soon as they're coming in, all I was thinking was, I don't want them to do any of this shit. So I do like a fucking ruler size rail amount, right? And as soon as I come back up from that, I get jumped, dude. Oof. I get punched in the face, back onto the counter, right? And I stand up and I can't put the fucking faces together, bro. Their faces are like Picasso in front of me, right? And I'm sitting there looking, and then the kid fucking swings at me again, right? So I grab him, we fall back into the fucking closet where the laundry was, right? Door falls off. I get back up. I'm looking for something to grab because there's three of them, you know? And I see one sitting at the table and I'm fighting the two of them. And end up in the fucking living room somehow. And I'm like swinging a fucking broom handle around, dude. Like I couldn't find anything. You know, I have felonies. I can't get a gun. You know, I had a bat maybe in my bedroom.
Wait, just for clarification, there was actually three of them?
I still don't know if they were real or not. So there might be a situation like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar. I'm kicking my own ass. Throwing myself around, dude.
Fucking Fight Club.
Dude. My fucking head split open up here. And I don't realize they must have felt bad for me. I kept getting up. You know? And then one kid comes over with a fucking towel and like wipes my face down, dude. Right? And then he's wiping my face down. I'm like, get off me, bro. And I like throw him into that same closet. And it's fucking. So, and then I feel like I see my daughter walk from the fucking dining room into her bedroom. And I go, what the fuck? And I walk in there. And I'm like, that's my fucking daughter, bro. Like someone walked her in there. Like, I think my daughter's getting molested now. No fucking joke, you know? So I look in the bedroom and no one's in there. I saw her walk in there. No one's in there, right? So then I get a tap on the shoulder and one guy goes, hey, man, can you give me a ride? Like nothing happened. I was like, yeah, come on. We walk out of the front door. I got no keys, no wallet, no money. From my car keys are in the car because I got a Ford. I got the code, right? So we walk down there. And he's like, I just got to pick up some weed for my girl down the block, right? So we're driving. And all of a sudden, fear, dude. Like because I feel there's two people in the back. I feel I'm driving and then one kid sitting next to me. And the amount of fear that came over me, like, these motherfuckers are going to kill me. So he tells me to pull into a driveway, the second drive. We go around the back of the house, right? In my head, I'm like, why are we going around the back of the fucking house? Like, what the fuck's going on here? So I fucking pull into the driveway and I fucking gun it, dude. And my car's quick. It drove through a fence, into a backyard, hit a picnic table, run over a fire pit, and smash into the side of the house. I hear the back doors open. They're gone. The one kid's next to me, he's gone. All the doors are closed. And I'm in the car, I don't know for how long. And the one kid that was sitting next to me and asked for the ride, he comes in the car again and he sits down and he's fucking staring at me, dude. And I look over. He's got black eyes and a fucking spiderweb tattoo on his face. And it was a fucking demon, dude. There's no way that was a real person there. And the amount of evil and just fear that I felt. And I'm trying to kick open my door, but the fucking picnic table is like against my door, right? So I finally kick it open and I get out of the car and there's a cop there, right? And probably after 5 minutes of me crashing the car, I mean, the cop showed up, you know? And as soon as I get out of the car, I see the cop and I try to fucking run, right? I sprinted and I ran into a fucking wooden fence and bounced right off it. And then the cop was just like, sit the fuck down, dude. Like, it's over, bro, you know?
So when the cop was talking to you after that, he kind of knew.
Well, yeah, no, he looked at me. He said, do you know anything about methamphetamines? I said, no. And I was on the ground. But, dude, they towed my car. They took me to the hospital. They stitched me up. And they're asking what happened. I have no idea. Just what you say. You know what I mean? Since I was younger, I have no idea. He was like, were you driving? I was like, no. But I got out of the driver's seat, you know? But hospital, and then stitched me up, and then I don't know, fucking 6-7 hours later, the doctor came up and said, you know, I can get you a cab or an Uber. And I was like, the cops aren't out there? Like, I thought they were waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, no. And I don't know what happened, man. I think I just started talking to God, and I looked at him. I said, why don't you call someone to get me some help? Because it's, you know, I'm lucky I'm fucking alive, you know? And I don't know how many times I fucking said that, you know? So he called this place called Helping Hands. It was like in between that hospital.
Well, wait, hold on. Before we get into that, I still want to know more about these three guys, bro.
Like, no fucking idea.
Like, where they, like, who did you think they were? What did you think they were doing there? Like, you know what I mean?
Obviously, they were there to rob me.
They just showed up. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. All right,
just showed up.
Gotcha.
You know, someone that I crossed paths with that, you know, thought they could do that. And they tried to do it. I don't know. I had enough sense in my head. I hid my wallet in my daughter's room at some point because I called my ex while I was in the hospital. And I said, you got to talk to Izzy. It was my daughter. I said, you got to talk to Izzy. She's going to know what the fuck happened because she was there. And she was like, Brad, she was at my house all night because it was her birthday that day, my ex's. And she said she didn't fucking leave. And that's when, like, my brain started coming back to normal. Like, holy fuck, I was hallucinating a lot of this shit. This shit ain't real. I was coming out of it. So, I don't know. You know, she came, lady came. I had insurance because I was still working at the dealer. And I still didn't know where my wallet was, my apartment keys were, my phone was. And I didn't even, you know, I didn't care. Fucking Uber came and took me to RCA, Devon. Stayed there for 30 days. But
Now, out of all the RCA, what stay was that in a treatment facility for you, number wise?
6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one.
Yeah, I've been to treatment quite a few times.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it was just to keep my probation officer, family, boss, you know what I mean? Just shake the heat for a little bit. And then I had no intentions of ever staying sober. A couple times I did. I was just like, yeah, it's not in the cards for me.
No.
So
it was like that a lot for me until the first time I did the steps.
Mm-hmm.
Actually did them. and follow direction from somebody other than myself. I remember I was on my men's, and in the middle of driving to one, I think it was one of my old landlords. It was that place in Westside, and I was driving. I think I saved like $280 because the place, you know, we just turned them into dungeons, you know. And I knew she had to remodel a lot of shit inside. So I went up to her door, and I think on the way there, there's something opened up inside me, and I was like, "Holy fuck! Like this is how people are supposed to live."
What do you mean by that?
Adding to the stream of life instead of taking from it.
Correcting wrongs, fixing your mistake.
100%, yeah. Making amends for what you did, no matter, you know, how far, you know, you have to search for that person to do it, you know. And I mean, if you're in touch with God, people just show up,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I agree.
That's 100%. It's happened on my men's. The one person I saw in a grocery store. The other one was somebody back in Jersey I wanted to make amends to, and they ended up fucking messaging me on Facebook.
Yeah.
While I was in Alan's house,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the first time I did the steps, and
On the west
he
side?
was on East South Street.
Mm-hmm.
So she was the last one on my list. And I didn't know her last name, or I just knew her first name, you know? And I got a Facebook message, and she just wanted to reach out. And I haven't seen this girl in 10 years, let's say. And I ended up messaging her back, like telling her this is like not
Telling her what happened. Yeah.
well, just telling her like this is my mind is blown right now because I needed to make amends to you and I didn't know how to reach you, and you Facebook messaged me and you're the last one on the list. We started getting into it. Her husband, like a month prior to her reaching out to me, ended up going to rehab. So I told her what I'm going through and what I'm learning. And I mean, we didn't stay in contact after that. It was just those two messages, or maybe back and forth for a day or two, you know. But I ended up making the amends off a Facebook message. And she's telling me what's going on with her. After I made the amends, she's like, holy shit, this is what's going on with me. Husband's in rehab. And, you know, I just gave her some of my experience, you know, when he gets out, what people, you know, from just being around the program, helping her out a little bit. That's all.
Yeah. No, it's remarkable how I was just telling a story like that the other day. Same thing. Like, no idea who this person was. Didn't even know their name at all.
Right.
How the fuck am I ever going to find them? And then they just show up right when I got the money in my hand that I fucking stole. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Now what?
And then how many times you hear people talk about that shit? You know what I mean? It's like fucking weird, man.
Countless.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just doing the next right thing, being a good person. You know, you right your wrongs, right? You make your amends, but then how do you act beyond that? I'm not still going to act like a knucklehead. I'm not going to keep stealing. I'm not going to, you know, I'm going to be aware of how I act and react to, you know, and the people I put myself around and what kind of energy that, you know, I want to bring into my life. You know, I pray every day now. I started reading the Bible. I started with the Gospels.
What do you like?
Actually, I have a girlfriend right now. We share Bible verses, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
See, I'm an Old Testament kind of guy, man. Old
got a
Testament's
question for
fucking
you.
brutal.
I'm telling you, she actually
I
sends
love
me
it.
stuff. She's like, I'm scared. Is this real? So we're having not a debate, but we have questioned the God in the Old Testament and the New Testament isn't the same God.
Yeah, there's only one God. They're all the same. No matter what religion, no matter what it is. All right. God, what is God? Let us imagine that there's this thing that created everything.
Okay.
It made everything. What's it look like? Where's he at? What's he made of? What are his motives? How did he do that? Can you even begin to fucking ponder these questions? And so when people talk about God, they take their understanding of it and articulate it as best they can. And in different cultures, there's different representations that we can't fucking, so they're all the same God. They're just different like ideas of it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now, what we're thinking, the Old Testament is a punishing God. Right?
Well,
The New Testament's a loving God.
well, it's the
Do
world.
you think God, the real God, sent Jesus down because the Old Testament God is
Well,
God?
yeah, I just think it's a matter of difference of the times that
Yes.
each books were written.
Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
you know, back then, you know, geez, up until the 1900s, early 1900s, like it was legal to beat your wife with a stick as long as it was no bigger than your thumb.
And,
You know,
yeah,
I mean, it was just a different time.
yeah, we've definitely devolved.
You guys ever see Boondock Saints?
Sure.
Yeah, he's talking about
The
that.
older one's way better.
And the lesbian fish worker or whatever, she's like, yeah, that's, you know, she's like, yeah, back in whatever times you were allowed to beat your wife as long as it's no bigger than your thumb. He goes, perhaps it should have been the rule of wrist, huh?
Yeah, but no, it's like, so you know, it's funny you're talking about that. It's like you know, you hear arguments about, like, you know, slavery was more acceptable in the Old Testament, and going around and just wiping a fucking village off the face of the earth, you know what I mean, killing everybody, the
Raping,
women, the
pillaging.
children and stuff. And it's like, well, if you really think about it, it's like we were more primitive people the time, and there was more scarcity. We didn't have as much. As we've evolved over time, we develop, like, the world gets kinder, if you will, like reality gets kinder. So we look at modern society today, and it's easy to be a moral man, you know what I mean, compared to like what it would have been back then. Like, we sit here and say, oh no, you gotta imagine growing up in a fucking country where it's like there's almost no farmland. You know what I mean? And it's like, so what are you going to do? Well, we're going to have to survive somehow. So let's build some fucking boats and go sail over to that country over there.
Right.
And then we get there and we see, look at these idiots. They just sit around on Sundays fucking praying and shit. And they don't even fight back. Let's just, you know, wait till Sunday and go down there and fucking rape their women, steal their shit. You know what I mean? Sail on back. And then, as it turns out, we can hold some of them ransom. You know what I mean? It's like, so, you know, when we say, oh, I'd never do that because I'm such a good person. You know, but it's like, imagine the lights go out tomorrow. Imagine all the power goes out. Like, how fucking, yeah.
Chaos.
There was this short film I seen where, dude, it was so interesting. It was this, one dude, he's in an apartment. They show his son who's hiding in the fucking closet or whatever, and he finds a can of beans. And then another guy comes in and sees him with the can of beans. They fight to the fucking death over this can of beans, bro. And the guy beats the fucking dude to death with the can of beans. And I got to tell you, I really think that a lot of the people who like sit on their moral high ground and talk about how great they are, like some of them would never, they'd either never survive in that world or they'd be fucking beating people to death with cans of beans. You know what I mean? It's talking about, well, thou shalt not kill. It's like, you know what I mean? It's,
you can't feed your kid for 3 days.
Yeah, dude,
road out.
hunger pain. Yeah, man. Yeah, right. So, you know, that's like what Blythe was saying. It's the times, man. You know what I mean? As the times got better, spirituality gets easier. You know what I mean?
You can even go back as early as COVID lockdowns. You know, I have a friend of mine. He came to my house freaking out, dude, trying to get guns and ammo, and he's going to find a cow, and he just bought a big commercial freezer, like losing his shit. Like, do you have any 12 gauge shells? I'm like, yeah. He goes, do you need 410 shells? And I'm like, probably. They're, you know, I'll trade you this and that for this little bit of this. And I was just like, I mean, it's a win for me, you know? So I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know, and
he's going off grid. He wants to live off the grid, be fully sustainable property.
Yeah.
Self-sustaining property by 2025 or some shit.
And it was just like, yeah, okay, man. Like, I don't.
That's to build a windmill.
You know, and in my in my head it was like, okay, cool. So I'm just gonna let you do all the work.
You got
right
when shit goes down.
And I'm just gonna come and fucking shoot you.
I'm taking the shit. I'm just bringing a book bag. Like, where do you want me to put this, man? You want me to start fucking mulching? Start.
That's who does that? I think Bill Burr does a bit. He's like, you know, you see, all you're doing is you're growing shit for the toughest kind to block. You know what I mean? That's all you're doing. You know,
close the gate.
But it's a good thing though to learn how to like take care of yourself and be self-sustainable, because you're a valued resource then at that point. So even if you're not the biggest, fastest, smartest, strongest,
sure,
you have a knowledge in how to do something, you know. And I think that's kind of how society works now. And I think that's how we all stay peaceful now, because we realize that most people do hold a good high amount of value. And it's what are you bringing into the circle that helps society as a whole, helps our community. Like, what is it that you do? You know, like, what's your skill? You have a skill, obviously, because we all have them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think God made any of us useless. You know, we all have some use. It's just everyone's use is different.
How about Gloria?
Yeah,
Is Gloria useful in any way?
Yeah, she's fucking excellent at being a cunt.
We need cunts.
She's helping blind
Grow spiritually. That's right.
Well, I tell you what, though, man, like, so that was like one of
purpose.
that was like after I cleaned my act up, that was like the first person I had to deal with that I hated with every fiber of my being and still remain professional. So she taught me how to do that, you know, because I never really had to do that before. It was just because there's, you know, she works for the county, who works for a judge, you know, and my business partner at the time, his sister was the head of the drug court program. Right. So it was like I kind of had to watch what I said. I may see these people at, you know, family gatherings or, you know, other kind of public events too, because at that time I sat on a board called YPR, as Young People in Recovery. So it was basically like a resource bank, you know. It ended up falling apart because, you know, eventually what happens is people start thinking they're in charge of things, you know, and it kind of fell apart. But when we were involved with that stuff, you know, I was around a lot of councilmen, the mayor, things like that. So I didn't want to have this reputation as a volatile, you know, flies off the handle type, you know, non-negotiation person. So it was just, fuck Gloria.
Fuck Gloria.
She ended up getting fired.
Fuck Gloria.
She got fired. And then, because of that stuff, I think that was a big catalyst for Catholic Social Services getting removed from the drug court program.
And if that were me, I would think it was God getting vengeance from me. You know what I'm saying? And it's odd how often he does. You know what I mean? It's weird. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, nah, they know not what they do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But he does protect his favorites.
Forgive them.
God's got his favorites, you know?
Yeah. And
I tell you
it's
what,
true.
though, like, speaking of like primitive, we all have to, I think, let the caveman inside of us out once in a while. Like, I go deep sea fishing, right? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing like catching a fucking tuna and pulling that motherfucker on the boat, dude. And then we
punching it right in the face.
Dude, when it's flopping, one dude actually does fucking tuna or fucking like hammering it. I'm like, no. But then I'm like cutting heart out and eating it. You gotta eat a piece of the heart, right?
I think that's got a lot to do with that too, man. Like back in the day, man, you were a kid watching animals get slaughtered and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You were very acquainted with death. You were a lot more immune to it, to the emotional effects of it. Today, like, dude, got a fucking, you know what I mean, an animal in front of your average, your average child, dude. They'll start crying and shit. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like free, they'd be traumatized.
Yeah, a lot of kids don't understand, like, you know, like whitetail deer hunting and things like that. That's becoming old hat. You know, that was almost like you had to do it when we were kids. Like all of us boys did it, even some of the girls. You know, it was just
Now we got to save them.
So they could hit your car.
Yeah,
because they're so fucking smart and elusive. It's weird how that works,
dude. No, you don't
You'll
know.
Go out for days trying to hunt a deer with a rifle, camouflage, putting on dope piss. You won't see one. Just drive down the fucking road in a brand new car. You'll see 12 of them.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're all. That's what, like, they sit on the side of the road and they're like, yo, if there's going to be lights that come by, jump into them and you'll be transported to the better place. You know what I mean? And they're like, nah, fuck that. It's actually the more courageous deer that are jumping out in front of your car, just so you know.
Let's get this over with quick.
Like, and he did. He went right to fucking heaven, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like, the other deer are like, I wonder where he is.
That's how they get sober, deer. So Brad, you know, you had that last experience in treatment,
right?
I think it was shortly after that, I ended up running into you at a comedy show,
correct,
up in Scranton, correct?
Yeah. I had 8 months at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy to see it, man. It was, you had a different there was something different, like we've been in contact for a couple years,
Yeah.
and it always seemed like, you had kind of one foot in, kind of one hand on the doorknob, not sure which way you wanted to go, but that day you seemed kind of a little bit more
Vibrant.
sure of a direction that you were heading. That's what it seemed like. You're not like vibrant or anything. It was just like more like you knew where you wanted to go, where you were trying to get to. It was hard to explain.
It is.
Because
The
even
world
my
in
girlfriend
AI.
Sarah was just like, "Who was that?" And they're like, I was like, "Oh, it's my buddy Brad. I just didn't see him for a while." And she was like, "You okay?" Because I kept thinking about it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I
sure.
was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm actually really happy about it." But
Yeah.
it just seemed different.
Wheels are turning. You saw me for a reason. You
Yeah.
know, and thinking about what kind of energy I was emanating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny you say that because I wasn't sure at all. I'm still not sure. I pray to God for guidance every day. I just want the blueprint, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just send me the blueprint. I'll do it step by step to
Amen.
seek pure joy. I just want to feel that, what I'm supposed to be doing in life. And, just get to that point where not sure, but on the right path. Like, and I see signs all the time. God talks to me. As long as I'm seeking him, as long as I'm talking, I'll
Yo,
talk.
man, why don't you tell us about some of those signs, man?
Okay. There was one, actually, the sober house that I went to after RCA. It was about 3 months in, and my roommate came home. I knew he was high. And we were like, you get sober with somebody, you get fucking tight with them, especially your roommates in a sober house.
Yeah.
So we were tight as fuck. He came home high, and I knew he was fucking high. And try to talk to him about it. He's lying. And then I'm in the kitchen. I go from the porch because he's like, "Hey man, do you want to like?" Because he knew, like, I sold my house. I had a little bit of money, dude. You know what I mean? And he didn't really have much. But he was like, "Do you want to be a bookie, man? I can be like your muscle." And I looked at him. I was like, "No, I don't want to be a fucking bookie, dude. Like, it's the last thing on earth I want to be right now is a fucking bookie."
He's surrounded by degenerates.
Fuck. And going to collect money and shit. And then he's high. I'm like, no. So I go inside. I didn't want to talk to him. No, I go inside. And then
And what was he using, you think?
he was Xanax and alcohol, definitely.
Okay.
I can tell. Yeah. So he was down the hall. And
I was thinking cocaine because everybody that does coke wants to start a business.
yeah. No, he was definitely on some downer. And they were cleaning the kitchen that night. So the garbage was outside the kitchen, and you can see down the hallway. I go to throw something out, and he's peeking out our bedroom door up towards the hallway. And I go, fuck, he's definitely trying to steal some shit in there, right? So I walk down there, and I go in the room. He goes, "Bro, you don't have a wallet?" Because I'm living with 10 guys. I'm hiding my wallet. I go, "No, man, I don't have a fucking wallet, bro." He goes, "Well, how do you pay for shit?" I said, "Everything's on my phone." He's like, "We had cash. The other day," I was like, "Well, I go to the bank and I take some cash out." And he
Why
goes,
is he so fucking curious?
"That's what I'm saying." I said, "Where the fuck are you going with this, man?" So he goes, "Well, you know what? I'm kind of stupid, man. Maybe tomorrow you can take me to the bank and show me how to do that." I said, "What? Get cash out?" He goes, "Nah, just show me how banks work." This guy's 40 years old, bro. And then I sit on my bed and I'm like, this is fucking weird. And he's on his bed and he goes, "I know you like sneakers and stuff." He goes, "My boy, he's got a bunch of sneakers. I can take you to see him tomorrow. He'll give you a deal on sneakers." So automatically in my head, I'm like,
Set me up to rob me.
they're setting me up to fucking rob me, dude. I waited till he fucking was snoring. I grabbed half my shit and I fucking left. It was 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't tell anybody at the sober house. I just fucking bounced. I said, "I don't fucking need to be here no more, especially dealing with this shit." So I got an electric car. I got the Mustang Mach-E, right? I get in my car at 60 miles until the battery's dead. And it's about 130, 140 miles to get up to here from where I was, right? I was right outside of Philly. So I get in my car. I start talking to God. I say, "All right, God, what do you need me to do here?" Right? So I look on on my navigation. It shows me where the charging stations were. I found one in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. It was only 28 miles away. I said, "All right, I can make it there." By the time I get there, it's 3 a.m. and I plug in. I'm there for about a half hour in the car. A tow truck pulls up and drops the car off. The guy gets out of the tow truck. I can see him looking at the machine. I go, all right, I'm gonna help this guy out to get out. He's from California. He's out here. He rented an electric car. So I showed him how to download the app, put money on it, charge the car. We ended up talking. I tell him, for some reason, I get honest with him. And he ends up being 18 months sober, trying to find God. Can't find God. Right? At this point, I'm like 4 months sober. Know of my God. No, I believe in my God. I believe my God is guiding me as long as I'm seeking that guidance and I'm clear enough to see that guidance. So
what do you mean by clear enough to see that guidance? How would you describe that?
Dismantle the ego. Be aware of my actions and not filling my head with worldly things, whether it be chasing money, ego, chasing girls, just trying to live right on how I can be of service to a spirit that I think can help me out in my life. Probably the best way I can say that.
Oh, right on.
But from that meeting, listen, it's 3:30 in the morning in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Not a soul is awake besides me and this guy. And I'm trying to help this guy find God. Me being 4 months sober, he being 18 months sober. He's from California. So from that, it just told me that God has got my back. He said, bro, as long as you don't fuck around, I got you, bro. So I left there so peaceful that as long as I live the right way, that I'm going to be okay.
Isn't it strange, though? So, like, you were the one that needed help to get out of a bad situation. And then God put somebody in your life immediately. That you could help.
Yeah.
Nuts.
And got you both the fuck out of it.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not surprising to me because I see it happen since I gotten sobered. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of times.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I prayed with him there. I told him, just ask if he's real to show you that he's real. And if you don't believe in him, just talk. Pretend he's real. That's all you gotta do is talk to him.
Yeah.
Because then you start feeling him inside. You get those butterflies, whatever that is, those pins and needles. When you start talking to God, you feel it, man. When you're connected. Like sometimes I'm not connected at all. I don't feel nothing, but I'll keep talking until I do. So yeah, I mean, that was one of them. When I moved up here, I stayed in a hotel across from LCBC Church, right? I stayed in that Hilton Suites, whatever, for like a month until somebody from AA got me an apartment. So I move into the hotel and I asked them, where's some good food that I can eat around here, right? She thought I was from out of town. She goes, well, why don't you try Cooper's? Like, I didn't say anything. I said, okay.
yeah.
Right? And on the way up the elevator, I remember when I was selling cars, a customer gave me a Cooper's gift card with thank you card.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, shit. And I looked in my wallet and he was there, right? I said, okay, God, I'm going to go to Cooper's, right? So I go to Cooper's. I sit down, I eat, I get up, and I'm walking out, and they got the raffles on this table. And you buy tickets, you put them in, you try to win whatever's behind the basket, right? And I hear behind me, yo, Brad. And I turn around, and it's this kid, Bobby Jackson. I was in rehab with him in 2012. And this is 2023. 24. This was last year in the summer. So he comes up, I can tell he was drinking, right? He goes, Brad, what's up, man? Bobby, what the fuck's going on? So he's saying something, and I'm like, listen, I can tell he's drinking. So I was like, I got sober again, man. I said, it's so much better on this side of the fence. You got to come back over on this side of the fence. And he was like, dude, I can't figure it out. I can't stop drinking. And drinking wasn't his thing, just like drinking wasn't my thing, right? But I remember when I started drinking in 2017 again, I couldn't fucking stop drinking, right? Because I tried it because I can control that because I never went to rehab for that. you know?
I remember the garage beers. Like
Yeah,
weird.
yo, I used to talk to him while drinking. He goes, "Why are you drinking those weird beers, man?" In his voice and shit. But yeah, dude, and he was like, "Listen, I've been like fighting if I should go in inpatient or not because I can't stop." And I say, "Well, I think it's a good idea." And he left there. You know, just the timing of it's got it, man. The lady saying Cooper's, me and having Cooper's gift card in my pocket.
Oh yeah,
going
no,
to
I see
Cooper's,
it. I
and
see
me
it.
walking out, and someone I haven't seen in over a decade that
Yeah.
remembers me needs help.
Yeah.
And I didn't get in contact after that. It was just like, yo, come back on this side of the fence. It's so much better. He was like, I really think this is what's going to push me over the edge to try to do it. So I hope, Bobby, I hope you're good, man. If you're out there, I hope you're sober, dude.
He's probably at least played with the idea a little bit more.
Yeah,
That's
but,
what, you know?
but and even if not, man, like tell me that fucking shit didn't make you feel high as fuck.
Bro, I left there
You know,
thinking, I'm like, I'm on the right path. Do you understand? Like those things make me feel like I'm on the right path. But then when I don't feel God or see God in my life, I'm like, where did I go wrong here?
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing that I can't see these signs? I wish there were just billboard moments every day of my life.
Yeah,
That's why I just want the blueprint. I'll help whatever. Like, here am I. Send me. I will help. Because that's the only way I know how to feel how I've been wanting to feel and chasing my entire life by putting shit in my body.
Mm-hmm.
Is moments like that makes me feel.
Yeah, it's weird though, because like when you first go to like a 12-step meeting, you have some like old grumpy guy. You know what I mean? You fucking do it, fuck I'm telling you to do, kid. And you're like, I don't think I want to do that, man. But like if you would just see that he's actually knows what he's talking about, you know.
Listen, sometimes I can't stand. I'm gonna be honest, man. I speak candidly here. I can't stand AA sometimes. Like people, and this is just me being honest, and maybe it's me, feeding the wrong wolf here. You know what I mean? But
I have a feeling we're probably all going to end up in agreement by the time it's on talking.
I just remember thinking, just all these people want to do is hear themselves fucking talk, man. And everyone's just thinking about themselves, and everyone wants to share something good, and bear in mind, I've shared some shit, and people have shared some shit that opened my eyes in meetings too. So there's good to it too. But I don't know. There's just, and maybe it's the other force in this world, pecking at me. Because the closer you get to God, the more the devil swarms. I know that.
Well, I just think it's you just brought something up, that people want to hear themselves talk. It's my discrepancy in a lot of gatherings of those. Is, people think that they could take actions to fix it, and they get lost in the fact that there's nothing that they could do, that it's, unless you're seeking God, you're doomed, man. You may not drink, but I doubt you're going to find peace.
Yeah.
How are you going to find it?
Right.
Egotistical ways.
I did have
fleeting,
fleeting,
and fucking, and then you spend more time chasing than you do having.
Yeah. So I remember when I first came up to this area, this older man, Ron, he was like, Bly, if you think there's something to get here, you're terribly wrong. There's just stuff to do. There's just things to do here. There's nothing to get. There's things for you to do. That's it. That's all we got. Yeah. And now,
then you get where you're.
Well, years, what I mean? Years down the road, I'm applying those principles not just to my sobriety, but in my business, in my personal life, my friendships, my acquaintance relationships. I have a lot of really good, strong relationships, and it's because, applying that principle. It's like, hey, I'm not here to get anything. I'm here to see if you need anything.
Right.
And if you go into that with that mindset, it's funny because a friend of mine, Courtney, it's like crazy because like we'll be kind of like irresponsible financially sometimes, as addicts and alcoholics and stuff like that, or just I think a lot of people are just financially, make poor decisions. But it's like weird because like when I spend money that I probably shouldn't, using it that's probably going to benefit someone else as well, I end up with twice the amount of money.
Yeah.
It's so strange, I haven't really had to worry about where I was getting a paycheck from since I got sober either.
No, not at all.
No. Occasionally I got stressed about like, hey, if this happens and that happens and this happens too, now I'm doomed. But like, when is that going to happen?
Dude, I've been flat broke with shit on the fucking, like, doom is on the horizon, and I just know it ain't gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking know that something's gonna happen. It's gonna take care of it. It's like somehow, some way, and money or whatever it was is just falls out of the fucking sky at the exact moment that I need it. It's fucking crazy. But to the meeting things though, I just think, there's, most of the sickest people on the planet end up in those rooms, and that's what they're mostly populated by.
Right.
The drama, the bullshit, all that stuff that comes with the territory. That's the symptom of the illness. If it wasn't for those people, I wouldn't be able to get high every day. You know what I mean?
Kidding.
It's like I'm fucking singing. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Thank you, you sick fucks.
That's nuts. Just to go back to what you touched on with the finances before, like not having to worry about something, right? Because I mean, I'm fucking around now, and I'm at a point where money's running out. I took a whole year off of work, and I wanted to stop and smell the roses. After I got out of RCA, after I moved back up, got the apartment, I wanted to spend quality time with my daughter. Because I'm selling cars, you're working 10, 12 hours a day. You got to go on any day off. I might have Sunday. Right now, I'm like taking her to work, picking her up from work, cooking dinner, teaching myself how to cook after her mom bounced, And I enjoyed this whole fucking year, but I didn't stop spending like I used to spend, right? So I prayed for God to move aside my financial troubles right now because the money's running. I got a little bit to survive, but I have to go back to work. And I was at my second interview at a dealer last week, and I don't want to sell fucking cars. I really don't. But it's something, though, because of decisions that I made over the last year, because I thought I can die tomorrow. Why don't I just enjoy some quality time with my daughter and smell the roses? I started going to the gym every day. I was going to the meetings until I started fucking around again. And I still sporadically go to meetings, God put people in my life, give me little nudges here and there, and they know I'm honest there, but when I pray about it, what I hear is get sober, right? That's what I'm feeling like he's telling me to do. Now that could be myself because I'm beating myself up because I'm controlling it right now. But how long is it going to be controlled? How long am I going to be able to control my habit? And even coming here is making me think, and it's funny too, because after the second interview, the manager there said, all right, man, we'll set you up they know about my background. I was honest. This guy's been trying to get me to go to the Steeler for a decade. He knows,
You're good at your job. You're
Yeah.
good at what you do.
So he tells me, all right, we're going to do the background check. We know how that's going to work out. And then I'll set you up for the drug test. I was like, all right. And I'm believing that God's sending me to Motor World because I'm praying for guidance, right? Crazy story. New girlfriend, her daughter, we're at, she wants to go to this diner she used to go to when she was a kid, right? I walk in the diner. I see a girl when I had the house in Roaring Brook, when I had the facade of the family, right? My daughter used to date her son, right? Or they used to hang out, be friends. So me, my ex, her and her husband, they used to come over a couple times. We'd go over there and I see her, right? So automatically I'm like, okay, I'm thinking back from the house. We sit at the table and there's a business card thing in the middle of the table, a little metal thing with the circle on it. You put the business card in and I'm staring at it and it's the girl I paid to clean my house when I sold my house in Roaring Brook. So I'm like, okay, God, I don't know what's connecting here, but I see a girl that I used to see with her and her husband. Then I look at the business card that's on the table. It's someone that I contacted to clean my house before I sold it. And I'm thinking something's going to come about here. So then me and the girl I'm hanging out with, we go to the casino later on that day, right? And bear in mind, this guy from this dealer, he texted me a picture of my business card that was on a car that got traded in, right? This was like a month prior. He's trying to get me to come up, hey, this is a sign, you should come work for me. So, and I'm debating in my head, maybe I should go up there or not. So we're at the casino. I go to get an ashtray, right? And on the way back from the ashtray, here comes this girl I used to work with at the other dealer, which the manager there said, hey, she's working here now. Talk to her. Ask her how the dealer is. Ask her about the pay.
Is that the one I saw you at the comedy show with?
No.
Okay.
No. That's Lori. I used to work with her at the dealer. She actually became a very good friend. She's good people. But so then I see the girl that the manager's talking about coming down, and I go, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Give her a hug, and here comes a kid behind her with the name of the dealer on his shirt that this guy's trying to get me to go to. So in my head, from seeking God, I'm like, all right, all the signs this morning, because I don't think anything's a coincidence. Me seeing that girl at the diner, seeing the business card, and then, seeing that shirt at the casino. I'm thinking God's plan for me is to go to this dealer. As I'm praying for guidance, as I'm telling you, on my porch, all I'm hearing is get sober. Then I go to the first interview went well, go to the second interview. They're trying to, just kind of feel me out. I went to see the bigwigs the second interview, and then he hits me with, we're going to give you a drug test.
Mm-hmm.
So then I leave, and then I call him. I get honest with him yesterday or the day before. I said, listen, I started drinking a couple months back. I definitely have weed in my system, and I'm trying to live an honest life here. So, because if I'm not honest, I'm not following God's plan. Do you understand? Or at least the guidance that I'm getting from him to move my financial situation aside right now. Or because you don't know what's on the other side of that decision. I heard a pastor on Facebook say that last week, that even though, you might not want to do this thing, I might not want to sell cars, you have no idea what's on the other side of that decision.
Amen.
If you follow what you think you're being guided to, right? So I said, listen, I can give a hot test. And he's cool, man. Like, he thought I was still sober, but he don't give a fuck. He's like 19 years sober, and he's a real dude, man. He's down to earth, and I can talk to him like that, like a friend, So he said, let me think about it. He said, get through the weekend. Let me think about it, because I don't think they'll bust your balls about the drug test if just weed comes up. But because of my background, I got 2 felonies in Jersey. Because of that's going to come up. He told them I was in recovery. So he's like, I don't know if I want you to take a piss test where the weed's going to come up, or, I was like, well, if you want me to push this off for 3-4 weeks, I won't smoke. He said, get through the weekend. I said, I'm not shooting dope, man. It's weed. I mean, I'll just stop smoking, So, and I don't know, just coming here, it's coming full circle in my head, like even talking about, being clear enough to see, where I need to go and what I'm trying to, the guidance I'm trying to get, and what I'm hearing, what he wants me to do, it's nice. It's nice to see your fucking face.
It's good to see you too, man.
Fuck yeah, man. So
That's awesome.
yeah, man,
That's great.
I mean, we met briefly back in Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, that probably would have been in 2015, 2016. I
little
was
bit
at
earlier.
me and George. No,
You sure?
yeah, because I was at the
Definitely
when
earlier.
Georgie and I had the apartment on High Street.
On High Street?
Yeah, right across from Margarita
Yeah,
Azul.
the-
Oh,
It was
that
like
was
the third
Brown,
floor.
Brown
It
Street.
was second
Fucking
floor.
Brown Street, wasn't it?
No, that was the sober house I was at. I was at the corner of Parish and High.
No, I remember that place. Yeah, yeah. Margarita's old across the street. I just thought that was whatever.
Yeah.
But to that fucking, I heard an analogy for that. Actually, what you talked about not knowing what's on the other side of it, and they
Right.
said it's like you're driving at night, you got your headlights on, you can't see past where the fucking headlights are, but that there's a road there, and you just keep going. You're like basically going on faith, which comes from there's a road there, and it's almost like it starts to become like that as you continue to do it. It's like I can't see past the fucking headlights. All I see is darkness.
Right.
But if just keep fucking going, and you're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of like that, like driving at night,
and the light just keeps going down the path.
yeah, just keep
Clearly see
showing only what you need to see, and showing you only what you need to see, man.
Yeah, I don't want to jump on the roof tomorrow, but I'm going to do it.
And that's what's crazy about it too. We would all love the blueprint, right? But you're not supposed to know. What's
No,
on the other side. Why? Because you're supposed to make the right decisions. Why?
I tried to change something.
Yeah.
Hey, God,
Listen, bud. All right, we got to talk.
this looks pretty good, except for this right here.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
No, you're
Why
right.
can't
You're
we
right.
just bridge it over to here? You know what I mean? Why do I got to go around here? Why don't we just do this?
I'm
on
fucking
the
tired,
path, you
bro.
gotta do something that you're not gonna.
Yeah, no.
I guess you're right. You would change something.
Yeah, or fuck it all up. That's what would happen. Or I just be like, oh, so I am gonna be fucking famous someday, or I'm not. Well, then what's the fucking point,
dude.
What's the point? You know,
Fucking bridge.
it's like the beauty. Not knowing is, dude. If you were fucking omniscient, you wouldn't be able to experience suspense or excitement or anticipation or curiosity or none of that shit, dude. And they're like the most beautiful parts of life. You know what I mean? Like it's what allows the journey to be. You know what I mean? And the journey is actually the coolest part of it all. Even though we're all trying to get to the destination, the destination only lasts briefly, and then it's just is. You know what I mean? If you enjoy the journey, then fuck, man. Then you like life.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Like when we're running and we're ripping and running and drinking, you don't even see. You think you see what was fun.
Yeah.
But then I had some friends who are like, no, that wasn't the fun part. Wasn't when your teeth went numb from ripping that coke, bud. You know what I mean? The fun was that we all got together and shared an experience with one another. And it's like, wait, what?
Oh no,
Serious?
I do that.
Let's
Whoa,
do it again.
that fish scale was fire.
yeah, no, dude. Honestly, man, there'd be them nights where I go out and you just run into all these people you haven't seen in forever. Some chicks fucking India, you know what I mean? And I noticed that I wouldn't really get that high or that drunk on those nights. Like not on purpose, not thinking about it. I just didn't get all fucking twisted up. And on the nights where you're going from bar to bar to bar looking for fucking something fun, I just fucking end up getting all blacking out by the end of the night and shit. It was just a weird thing that I never noticed until I came, did what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's just like it's evidence that that's really what you were looking for the whole
Human
time.
connection,
you know?
man.
Yeah.
That's all we're looking for.
Well, the thing is, too, like, there's always people that joke. They're like, oh, you have a problem drinking. And I kind of joked about it the other day. It's like, I really don't have a problem drinking, but everybody else has a problem with me when I'm drinking.
Yeah. Fucking
I'm okay like that. I'm really okay sitting at the bar and being a bar fly. Like, it's easy. That's why I like it, because it's very, very simple. But everybody else has to clean up after me because of that shit. So,
You need a big mop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couple 2-3 buckets.
Yeah, man.
Well, fixes the inside. What, are we done?
I think so. 9:00. So just real quick,
I got some more stories, man.
I know, part of getting sober, being a dad, there's some things that change. So like what's different now between your relationship with your daughter Izzy prior and now? Like what's changed for the better direction? Like has she noticed anything different? Has she said anything that she saw that's different with you? Tell us what's going on with that.
To her, I've always been that shining light, and I still am. There were some sketchy times where she seen me at my worst, and she seen me at my best. And even though I'm not at my best now, like even this morning, like she had a friend over. I did it yesterday morning too. I walk in the room with the Bible. I said, I'm gonna hit you with the word real quick, and I just read like 1 John, just a little passage out of it. When my daughter was younger, probably after 4, because I'd see her from like her age from 2 to 4, because I was trying to fix myself, and after I came back, when I left though, the houses in Wilkes-Barre, I wasn't my main priority anymore. I learned how to love somebody else. I learned how to take care of or give a shit about something besides myself, and that was my daughter. So by the age 4 and on, it's all her. I try to instill good traits in her. When even getting her for school real young, I would put on Christian music, and there's one song she loved. It's "Good Morning" by Mandisa, and I'd put that thing on, and I'd wake her up. And to this day, 13 years later, she plays that song. And it's a great song. It's positive. It's encouraging, you know. Leave the past behind. It's a new day. It's a song like that. You know, it's a good Christian song. And I'll play Christian music at the house while I'm cooking. I mean, sometimes I get it back into the 90s rap mode. I'll throw some Tupac on or, you know, some Gangstar. But she knows where my heart is. And I raised her the best way I know how. I let her be herself, but I let her know that being a good person is the most important thing. Like, I bought this bag of little Jesuses, right? And on it says, Jesus loves you. It's a little Jesus thing, right? I was actually going to bring you one, dude. But she took them out of my car because we went to a baseball Rail Riders game today, and she gives them out to people, man, that she talks to and has, like, she does this to hand to everybody.
Right.
She'll have to have a connection or talking to somebody. And she gave it to one of her friends' dad today because her dad won a skybox at a Rail Riders, you know, off of, he got season tickets, and they had it with the March Madness Final Four. And he, you know, they picked Florida for him. Florida won, he won the box, right? So she's talking to him, and then she said, hold out your hand. And she gave him baby Jesus. You know, I call it baby Jesus. It looks like an adult Jesus, just small. And I'm on the other side of the room. I'm like, you just got hit with baby Jesus, you know? And he pulls his cross out, and like, he's joking around. He's a good guy. And then I see she left one in the hall on top of a window just for people to see, man. You know? So that's the type of person that she is, and that's what I instilled in her. Like, that was, I don't listen, ego or no ego, that's me doing that to her by showing her how to act with people, letting her know you gotta love God, you gotta love people, you know.
Well, I'm sure she's having her own experiences with that by now too.
Absolutely,
you know?
man. And I got her a God box for Christmas, right? My friend Russell, real good friend of mine, Russell Perino, shout out, man. You're the man. You're supposed to be in my life, bro. I love you. He got me a God box, right? And what you do, you probably know what it is. You're struggling with something, right? You write it down on paper. You know, Jesus, I surrender my life to you. You fix everything. Fix this, or help me with this. Help me understand why this fear is in my life. Help me understand why I feel like this, or why this is supposed to happen in my life. You put it on paper, you put it in the box, right? And then whatever God's will is, you know, you ask him for help to fix it. So I get my daughter one for Christmas, you know, and I get her, you know, and I explain to her how to use it. I put the little passage in there, the prayer you're supposed to say, write something down you're struggling with. So she put, her friend Sarah's struggling with something, right? I think it's a boyfriend or something, you know, teenage stuff. So she calls me. I don't know where I'm at, but she called. I think I might have been at the gym. She calls me. She's like, Dad, this really works. This is amazing, right? And I'm like, what happened? She's like, this happened and this happened, and she's not with them anymore, and it happened like overnight. And I said, I need you to breathe real quick, because it's not going to happen like this all the time, okay? But I instilled in her that God's real, and if you seek God, you know, and the right way to live and be a good person. And I see the product of what I've been trying to do over the last 13 years. And she's a great kid. Izzy, I love you, man. And she saved my life. She really did. Because if it wasn't for her, I'd still think about myself back then. It'd be all about Brad, you know? And obviously both you can relate. Like, we're living on borrowed time. I mean, we are supposed to be dead, right? But we have guardian angels. We have a reason we're supposed to be here, whatever it is. But so I'm going to try to live right in that borrowed time. And right now, maybe the only thing I'm doing right is, you know, keeping my daughter as spiritual as I can. And her, like, she used to see me roll joints and drink and others, you know, I mean, she used to like notice me doing, I wouldn't do it in front of her. And now when she walks in the room, she sees me reading the Bible. She sees me praying. She sees me talking to God on the porch.
Yeah, her friends are like, Izzy's dad's a little fucking weird.
Straight up. But you know what? All her friends that come over, they call me Dad.
Yeah.
They call me Padre. And I don't care, like me even acting like that in front of them when I know that it's not there yet in them, I'm still planting that seed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. They can think I'm crazy if they want. I'm still gonna plant that seed. So she's helping me. She's helped me and is still helping me, just keep connected with the higher power.
It's good, man.
Right on. All right.
So drugs ended up being good for you, huh?
Yeah.
As it turns out, drugs are great.
Great.
Go do them. Run your life into the ground. Hurt everyone you give a shit about. Fuck them all over. That way you can suffer like a motherfucker and hopefully find God. You know what I mean?
And learn how to fix everything you did. Because you live 2 lives.
Yeah, it's interesting. This we're talking about amends. You know what I mean? I actually have noticed something. I could go out and fuck people over on purpose, and then make amends for it, and just create a really strong bond right out of the gate. You know, we're just fucking homies now. You know, where we would have just been acquaintances. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. Like the AA crew, bro. You would not hang out with these people on the outside.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
But then you're walking with them down to, you can always tell the sober house guys, which is funny.
Yeah.
You know. I know we're gonna end soon. I just want to end with this because and we don't have to end with this. I just want to say this.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I got a gratitude journal, right? I don't write it in every day. And, just a grateful life, it helps you realize let me just say this. I saw a video with Michael J. Fox. It was an interview, right? And it just stuck out. And obviously, we know who that is. He has Parkinson's. And he said, with gratitude, optimism is sustainable. Right? And, I mean, this guy's like that. And he's saying,
You're not far off. Fuck them.
It's all
Pretty
Italian.
animated.
That's just how
You know
fucking
what?
Italians are.
Yeah.
I mean,
cut that last part out. That was the ego talking. Cut that fucking last part out. Nah, but I mean, for real, man. He said, find something to look grateful for, or find something to be grateful for. Find something to look forward to and carry on. And that's all we can do. And all we're looking for is human connection. So just be kind, be nice. Understand people are going through their own shit. And try to realize that everything's happening the way it's supposed to. So don't let your emotions get a hold of you. And try to practice some patience and tolerance when it presents itself. And be grateful. Find something to be grateful for every day.
Well put.
right on, man. Right on. All right. And that was Drugs and Why They're Great.
Yeah.
Episode.
Thanks for
whatever,
tuning in.
Episode.
Thanks for stopping by, Brad.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. Glad to be of service. It was good.
That was fucking great.
I had some fucking more war stories I wanted to say, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we're not going nowhere.
All right, cool.
Yeah, definitely get you back in the game, man. That was